Hi and welcome back. Can you say hi and welcome back? We're more fixated on the dog right now. Say hi. This is TJ. We finally have some sort of normalcy in our home now. Our dog Ayla is now wanting to mother the new, occupant of the home. But we've also gone ahead and set up some safe spaces for him because she is a little bit rough. So I am going to put you in one of your safe spaces. You say bye-bye. Bye-bye. And I'll be right back. Well, that has been my past couple of weeks, getting them to agree with each other. Now they want to play, kind of, sort of. In the meantime, we were given a whole bunch of stuff. And I mean a whole bunch. Here, I'll go ahead and show you. I was given 2 heads of cabbage, so I now have 2 gallons of cabbage can. I have 2 pints of carrots that I need to put away. These are white nectarines, which are not cannibal, but we are going to still process these somehow. Apples, I'm going to make some applesauce on this video, as well as some Chinese plum sauce, or better known as duck sauce, the real stuff, not the stuff that you get in the little packets that are orange, that have all the artificial flavors. This is going to be real. So I do have a lot of processing to do this weekend. I have also frozen some squash, and I also have a whole bunch of other squash. I also have a whole bunch of other squash that I am going to cut up and puree and can as well to make soups and things of that nature, because these are packed full of vitamins. I've got about 88 of these, so I'm going to be busy all week with this. I am going to be visiting my sister next weekend, so I do have something that I'm editing right now to be able to play for next weekend. I am not going to be here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to show you how to quickly process and can a whole bunch of stuff real quick, all at once. You can water bath them, you can pressure cook them. I am going to need to pressure can the cabbage and the carrots, but the fruit is going to be water bathed. The duck sauce, if you're going to be processing this, you're going to do half pints or jelly jars for 10 minutes in a water bath, or 15 minutes for pints. If you want to do quarts, if you have that many, and like a lot of duck sauce, those are 25 minutes in the water bath. Applesauce, same thing, 10 minutes per half pint. And I've never made nectar out of nectarines before, so we're going to go ahead and attempt that. I have tried to can white nectarines before, and it turned out terrible. They do not can well. These are most likely going to be fresh eating. We're doing everything in a blender. Now, just let you know that this is not my recipe. It's an alteration of one I found online. The website is seriouseats.com. It calls for 2 pounds of plums, pitted and chopped. We are going to go ahead and chop these up, throw them in the blender. Make sure all the pits are out. Some of these look like that the pits are falling apart. So we need to be able to get out all the grit, because you don't want that in your sauce. So this is going to take a moment. Now that we have everything in here, half a cup of apple cider vinegar, half a cup of brown sugar. Here is where I am going to change it just a little bit because I am still not adding brown sugar or molasses on my pickup list. So we're going to go ahead and so we're going to go ahead and put in regular white sugar, half a cup. Now if you can't do sugar, honey with a little bit of molasses will work as well, but about a half cup. And if you do it this way, adding sugar and molasses, you want to add a tablespoon of molasses to this. Quarter cup soy. Okay. 3 tablespoons of ginger. I'm using freshly frozen. I do this once a year. I will gather a whole bunch of ginger and peel it and shred it and put it in the freezer for later. Now it says 2 cloves of garlic. You know how I feel about garlic. I know that's more than 2 cloves, but it's until your ancestors tell you to stop. Now here is where I'm going to differ from the recipe. I am going to go ahead and blend this up, put it in a pan, and then add 1 star anise. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and let that simmer for about 30 minutes with the star anise in it. Whenever we're ready to can, and we're going to cool everything down, take the star anise out of the sauce, and then put it in jars. We're going to rinse out the blender, and we're going to work on the applesauce while we are waiting for this to simmer. Now, applesauce is really simple. First things first, you want to wash your apples if they are either store-bought or you don't know where they came from. Wash them really well, get that waxy coating off of there, which I'm going to do now, and then we're going to core them, slice them up, and it's personal preference if you want to keep the skins on them or not. I'm going to keep the skins on these because they're going to cook down and add more fiber to the applesauce, even though I don't like the core, or the skin of the applesauce whenever I'm eating it whole, but it's going to be ground up enough to where I don't have to worry about it. Now, there's the core. I am also going to be adding just a touch of cinnamon to this. If you want to add sugar, you can. If you want to make apple butter, I do believe you process this just like I'm doing with the plum sauce. And you heat it up and you let it boil for a while and reduce the moisture. And instead of regular sugar or honey that you would add brown sugar to it. Again, I'm out. Now, I only have a few of these, so I'm probably only going to need 2, maybe 3 half pints or jelly jars. I like doing these in jelly jars only because 1 jar will feed 3 people easily as a side dish. The jelly jar is a 1 cup measurement. So if you're going to be making applesauce bread, you can gauge from there of how many jars you're going to need. Now these apples tend to be a little bit dry, so I may actually need to add some water to this. Adding apple juice to this would also work well, just to be able to get everything the right consistency for applesauce. This is going to be a little bit different. We are going from blender to jar. No cooking down, because once the applesauce is in the jar, it's going to be cooked anyway. To this much apples, I do believe this was 6 apples, I'm going to do a half a tablespoon of cinnamon. And about 1/8 of a teaspoon of clove. A little bit of clove goes a long way. I'm going to add 1 cup of water. Now, if your apples are a little bit more drier, use more water. If they're less dry, use less water. Also depends on the type of apples that you are using. Like I said, if you wanted to add sugar or honey to this, you could. I don't, because apples have enough sugar and fiber in there for me. And these go straight in the jar. Wipe your rims. One more. If you want to keep one of these out for the fridge, go for it. Wipe your rims. And we're going to start these in a cold canner. And process these for 10 minutes. You don't have to can these. You can freeze it. Just get yourself some Tupperware, put these in a little Tupperwares, put them in the freezer. They'll last about a year in the freezer, 3 to 5 years in a jar. And that is with everything that I'm making today. Now here's something I have never done, and I am hoping that it does turn out well. If not, we're going to be drinking a lot of nectarine juice real quick. In fact, I might actually just put this in a thingy in the refrigerator instead of canning it, depending on how this comes out. All right, so we are going to go ahead and cut these up, take the pit out. I know there's other ways to do this, but these are not quite ripe yet. It's the reason why I'm cutting these. All right, we have all the white nectarines cut up. I'm going to add a cup of water. And for the acidity, I'm going to add for this amount, a 1/4 teaspoon of citrus acid. If you're going to use lemon juice, use a 1/2 teaspoon. This is just to bring up the acid levels, just in case you want to can it and it tastes a little bit more lemony. I'm also going to add some honey, just for a little bit of sweetness. About a 1/4 cup. So not much, but enough to be able to get it nice and sweet. If you want to add some spices to this, I'm pretty sure a little bit of cinnamon and clove will go along with this. Maybe possibly some hawthorn berries as well. Something fruity to go with this. We're starting at 1 cup of water, and we'll see how thin this gets. Right, so still a little bit thick, not too bad. You can actually freeze this up into cubes and put them in these in smoothies. That's an idea too. For me, I want this drinkable, so we're going to add about another cup of water and blend it. Alright, so now that I have this at the consistency I want, you may want it a little bit thicker or thinner depending on your tastes. We're going to try this out. See if we did good. See if we did good. Ooh. Pinch of salt to bring out the sweetness a little bit. It doesn't need anything else. Highly recommend if you have a lot of nectarines or peaches that you don't know what to do with. Make juice. Alright, so the plum sauce is ready to jar. Depending on how many jars I have left over, I might be able to jar up some of the nectar, but I have a feeling it's not going to make it through the night. So I am going to go ahead and just not jar this, put it in the refrigerator and let it cool. The plum sauce is nice and thick. Some of the moisture has already boiled out of it. I am going to jar these up, but I am going to let these cool before I process these. I should have enough jelly jars. If not, I've got more in my storage area. I just don't want to go get them. That's 6 half pints of plum sauce, 5 of applesauce. What you did not see on camera is 2 gallons of shredded cabbage that I'm going to process along with the carrots, and I'm going to be processing all night. These are 10 minutes. Water bath. The cabbage is going to be processed at 25 minutes
pressure canned. The carrots are going to be pressure canned at 15 minutes. And not all of these are going to be fitting in one batch. So I am going to be having a very hot.
Well, thank you for coming to my major canning session. Usually whenever I am gifted food like this, you have to do something with it. Now, I was also given strawberries. I was also given other plums, salad stuff, things that you're for fresh eating only. The strawberries I put in the freezer for smoothies. And one thing I did find is the Nestle Quicks banana powder. So I add that to my coconut milk, put some strawberries in there. So I have some strawberry banana shake. I like it. I like it a lot. But this took me in total about 2.5 hours to get into the jars. It's going to take me that long to process and have everything seal up on me. So I am still going to be working on this, but I do want to go ahead and remind you, I am on vacation next week. I do have something planned. It's me processing things out of the garden. I've got figs. I made some fig jam, some onion salt, some mint sugar for like the rims of your glasses and stuff whenever you have cocktails. Stuff like that. Things that I was able to actually get out of the garden. And I am working on that editing right now. So thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.